Hello everybody and welcome back to my sunroom here in East Tennessee. It is almost October. I'm not believing it. Well, yes, I can believe it because the temperatures are changing. It's definitely getting darker earlier than it was. And the darkness is different here this time of year. It gets really dark and it gets like pitch black when it starts getting dark. So you can tell that fall is here, which brings about a lot of changes in the care for our Thanksgiving cacti. So I thought I'd just run through a quick list today of some things that I've been changing up, some updates on some things that I'm doing that are a little bit different that you all might like to know. I am watering them still. Normally in October you hear don't water, and in East Tennessee we tend to have very warm falls now. Next week, for instance, the high is going to be 82 degrees like 3 or 4 days, and I'm thinking I don't want to not water my Thanksgiving cacti throughout the whole month of October when it's very, very warm. Used to years ago, I could get by with that because it had already cooled down pretty much for the fall. But this year, I'm not doing that. And I've heard from several of you who are telling me, no, we still water during the month of October and it doesn't make any difference. And that's kind of good news. You don't want to stress your plant. I have noticed, though, that mine are not taking in as much water. When I watered Big Red the other day, I noticed he was only requiring about half the amount. I'm watering about once a week, but I noticed that he was only taking in about half as much water. Snow White here, the same way. As you all see, I have some new Thanksgiving cacti this year. I have got a peach one that my friend Sharon sent me. I've got Samba Brazil that Michael McCarthy sent me, and then I've got one from Paula that is absolutely gorgeous. It has grown. I'm going to show you a picture of it because you're not going to believe what it looks like. And this is the one that Paula sent me back in, I think it was April or May. It was just a little bit. Look, look at how this has grown. I think it's grown probably 3 times as much as when I got it from her. So Paula, thank you so much for sending this one to me. And this is the Samba Brazil that I got from Michael McCarthy. You all remember my unboxing video on this one. Look how this one has grown. It loves this eastern facing door here in my sunroom. And my friend Sharon sent me cuttings to her peach Thanksgiving cactus. I've actually got 2 of these. It's got a great start. I'm wondering, this one might be mature enough to bloom this year. I'm going to be really curious to see, but these are my new ones for this year. So I've got some brand new Thanksgiving cacti to share with you all. And my channel is sponsored by the Orchid Supply Store. I have all of these plants in Orchid Supply Store supplies, things that I get from them. I have got my cacti growing in Glacier Gold potting mix, which is awesome for Thanksgiving cacti. As you see, they've grown so well. I grow all of these in orchid pots. Orchid pots are absolutely perfect because they have a lot of really good drainage in them. So that's what I use with my Thanksgiving cacti. And it's not time to repot right now, but if you have other plants that need repotting, or let's say you need orchids that need to get into some fresh medium before the winter, then make sure that you use my coupon code Amy for a 12% viewers discount, and you get free shipping on all your orders within the continental United States. Orchid Supply Store, I've done business with them for several years, and I'll always have their information down in the description box below. And here is Big Red, the gorgeous Thanksgiving cactus that I have in the back of my sunroom, and he is on an LED light. And several of you have asked me, what do we need to do with changes in light when you're supplying LED lights with your Thanksgiving cacti? What I do is October 1st, I cut the lights back to about 8 hours on the ones that I have under LED lights. I have a few of them that are under LED lights this year. So that will provide them with the darkness that is going to trigger them to bloom. I've been reading some articles, some really pretty good articles about what triggers these cacti to bloom. And the latest ones are saying that not only is the darkness, at least 12 hours of complete darkness, not only is that very important, but also the temperatures are probably one of the most important factors that triggers them to bloom. So if you live in the southern, like the deep south, your temps are probably not going to get low enough to trigger them to bloom until February or March. My sister used to live in the southern part of South Carolina, and her Thanksgiving cacti always bloomed around Valentine's Day. Her temperatures just did not get cool enough to trigger them to bloom. Now you can force them to bloom. If you want to put them in a cooler room, just remember that when you have them in that cooler room, you're also going to need to keep them there until they're bloomed out before you move them, because after they bloom out, they don't like to be moved much. So I don't know. She never did anything special. She just left hers where they were growing, and they bloomed for her at at Valentine's Day, and she was happy with that. And so I think that's the easiest way to do it. And here's Jasmine. Let me see if I can get a little bit more coverage of her for you all. Oh yeah, there we go. She loves it back here. She comes back here and she takes naps. Don't leave the she likes that orchid's roots for some reason. Okay, come back, Jess. There she goes. And just as a reminder, I'm not using fertilizer at this point on my Thanksgiving cacti. It will confuse the plant. They don't need it at this point. They're taking in less and less water. And I only fertilize during the spring and the summer months. And then around the end of August, that's when I discontinue the fertilizing. And also, don't repot your plant at this time. It will send it into kind of a shock at this point, and it won't bloom. So yeah, so the best time to repot your plant is spring, after it finishes blooming. Interesting thing about Snow White, just so you all know, she is already starting to set buds. She's the very first one that blooms for me. I don't know if she doesn't require as low a temperature as the others do to set buds, but there are buds that are already forming on the back of that plant. I just noticed. Another interesting fact about Snow White, at the end of June, when we got Jasmine, I came home, and can you believe there was a beautiful white bloom on Snow White the day that we brought her home at the end of June. I just think that plants know when things are going on in your life. So I thought that was really, really cool. I had to tell you all that. And I was mentioning to you all before about an article that I had read about the temps that it requires for your Thanksgiving cacti to trigger it to bloom. And they say 50 to 59 degrees. Interestingly, it never gets that cool back here in the sunroom. The coolest I let it get is about 65 degrees. So, that's interesting. Mine bloom the same time whether I've had a very warm fall or a very cool fall. It really doesn't matter. So maybe Tennessee is just the opportune place for these things to grow and bloom. But like I said, my temperatures don't get much below 65. I don't like my orchids to get too much of a chill in the fall. So maybe that will be a guideline for you all. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone who left me messages on my last video about Jasmine. She is just, oh my goodness, she has just stolen our hearts, and she is such a good little girl. So thank you all for all of your kind words about her. And before I end this video, I would love to say the blessing over you, your families, and your plants. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn His countenance towards you and give you His peace. You all make it a great day, and we will talk to you next time.